Welcome to Twisted Monday. It's Twisted Metal 1. Frankly, at this point, this is a nice, easy, enjoyable stroll through good, frankly, better times that I look forward to every time it pops up. Really come full circle on Twisted Metal 1. Used to hate this game. Barely even wanted to Let's Play it. Back in 2019. Now I'm quite fond of it. This time, we got Roadkill. It is made of many junkyard hulks. Just a garbage car. Slapped together. Typically, when I fight this vehicle, I fear nothing. I consider this vehicle to be harmless in the hands of the AI. And sometimes I've been made to eat those words. We'll see how that plays out, now that I'm in control. It will definitely be more fun than Rogue Trip. That is not saying much. Captain Spears here. Definitely not a staple of the series, and we'll see why when we get to his ending. Competing in Twisted Metal to make up for his greatest regret. No further information available. The special is the Steel Dagger. A giant rod of rusty metal fired at 100 miles per hour. No more, no less. Exactly 100 miles per hour. Stats. Really good. Everything rock solid on this car. So, let's see how it actually fares in motion. Against a viable target. We've seen Pit Viper before. Done this full playthrough. Pit Viper is fine. The AI version just spams the special endlessly. Which is a little busted. But like every special in the game, Roadkill's is a missile. We fire a missile. Like so. The one thing that makes Roadkill special above average is that it has the slightest bit of homing. Just weak, pathetic homing that is nonetheless more than enough in most situations. The vast majority of specials do not have any homing whatsoever. And the slight bit that we do have really does make a world of difference. As we'll see throughout this playthrough. At least one of those would have missed. And there's Pit Viper again. We also get dealt weak-ish opponents. It was pointed out when I went through my last full playthrough of Twisted Metal 1 that it seems like the enemies that are dealt to you are based on your vehicle's placement in the roster. So like on the character select screen, the enemies they assign to you are typically the ones nearest to your character's select location. And I'm not 100% certain that's like a hard and fast rule, but it does sort of explain why we see vehicles we don't often see being assigned as opponents as I get towards the end of the roster. Because most of my previous playthroughs have been the earlier vehicles, and they might have actually arranged the vehicles on the character select screen for balance purposes, because they intended to assign vehicles as opponents in that order. Jury's out on all this, but it seems somewhat reasonable based on, as I said, limited research and observation. Okay, don't count out Pit Viper. Ever. She will shower you in acid. Roadkill has obliterated me. Pit Viper's swiping in to take advantage. So I gotta get the hell out of that alleyway. Like all specials, the Steel Dagger makes enemies fly way higher than any other attack and spins them in place such that they lose all their momentum and are really just totally screwed. Sitting ducks to be hit with any number of follow-up attacks. Dropping mines all over the place for really no reason. It would be much more beneficial to simply attack with the missiles that I have in my inventory already. But whatever. I will use the tools at my disposal. Right now I'm thinking ahead about what resources I will want to have when I get to the next level. And honestly, I should have thought ahead a little better, because the mines will be much more useful on the next level than they are here. But I threw away all of my mines, instead of saving them for the freeway, where the enemies typically will drive right down the center of narrow passageways and into the mines that I could easily set in the center of narrow passageways. Well, we got Mr. Grimm. Not the best use of my special, just sort of hurled it into space for no reason. We actually have a reasonable chance of hitting Mr. Grimm with our special. And he's less likely to hit me in return. What more can you ask for? Should probably use the homing shot, as he's still slippery. But no HP. Landing him on top of my head killed him outright. Good riddance. A lot of deadly opponents here. Or more so, high armor opponents. But armor is a weapon in this game, so we do still have to be careful here. Our special is so powerful that it almost killed Darkseid already, though. Spectre should be wiped out at our earliest convenience, in case he decides to spam that special and ruin our lives. Better. But Hammerhead is sort of defending Spectre accidentally. And I'm pretty sure it is impossible for the special to miss. That was just horrible luck. I got bounced into the air at the exact moment that Hammerhead drove by and hit me with infinite specials at the same time. Instant killing me. That'll happen to basically anybody. So, I was a little coy about it. Didn't necessarily want to spell out how good Roadkill can be in this game. When I did my practice for this playthrough that we're watching right now, I booted up the game and I played through it from beginning to end without ever needing to use a password. Without any previous practice. Just playing the character for the first time. Played through the whole game. Basically no problem whatsoever. Roadkill is very, very, very powerful. We've seen previous vehicles that are not good at anything. This is a vehicle that is not bad at anything. Just rock solid stats in every single regard, and an above average special that is easier to hit with than most others. Making for a very low-key beast of a vehicle. It's boring in how effective it is, but rather fun to play as regardless, and probably is going to dominate this playthrough. I don't expect to get through the whole thing without using any checkpoints or passwords during this playthrough, because I always play significantly worse when I'm recording than when I'm just practicing. Maybe. I prefer the vehicles that have way more character. I had a blast with the Dark Side playthrough personally, but this one was definitely much easier. So, honestly, it's nice to have the break. Just an easy playthrough, where I have very little to worry about. I say as I hurtle towards losing a second life on this third level of the game. Really the second level of the game. I barely count the arena as an actual level. Can't use my rear shots, tragically, because Sweet Tooth is caught on Hammerhead's corpse. One of the few games where corpses are persistent like this. It's honestly neat. I do appreciate the mechanical differences that come with the, I assume, aesthetic choice of leaving vehicle husks all over the battlefield. Who's the last enemy? I don't remember seeing a fifth vehicle at any point. Ah, yes. Yellow Jacket. Certainly didn't see him very much, but I have shot him once or twice. Fantastic physics. Definitely working just fine. Up. Back we go. That is a full heal. And I'm about to get it. Or I might get stopped. There it is. See, it was all worth it. Didn't matter how much damage I took, because I was going to get it all back. Should use my special here, because we always regenerate back up to 2 specials at the end of the level during the loading transition to the next level. And 2 specials is enough to basically kill Yellow Jacket from near full HP. The real protagonist of this game, Yellow Jacket. Shame to defeat him so easily. Must be done. So this is our first vaguely challenging level. We're ridiculously outnumbered, so I could see taking a death here. And I could see not taking a death here. At my skill level, there's always some RNG randomness to it. And obviously my skill plummets when I'm recording. For embarrassing reasons. Just like, I need to be humiliated anytime recording is happening, so obviously everything that can go wrong will. And also, I'm just more inclined to make mistakes. I'm reading chat. Nerves get to you a little bit. Even as used to all this as I am, recording is always going to increase the likelihood of making mistakes. Perfectly not hitting anything with my power missiles. Brilliant. Tons of homing missiles. It's great to see. Homing missiles are the best weapon in this game. I firmly believe. The only counter to them is doing donuts in an impossibly tight angle, which only the AI is capable of doing. And sometimes they do enjoy doing that, just to humiliate me. Dropping all my stationary weapons just to waste them. Not a big fan of them in general. Feel like that should have hit. Now I gotta catch up, which I can do, because this vehicle isn't bad at anything. I did have to use turbo that entire way. Even though Thumper is not that fast, it does appear to be a little faster than Roadkill. There's Spectre, who, as usual, needs to be prioritized. Permanently marked for death. Appropriate, considering that he's a ghost. You don't belong in this world. Die, monster. The variation in damage that our special can do is super weird. Sometimes it seems to obliterate an entire health bar. Sometimes you get a direct hit, and not much of anything happens at all. Not another reason for that, but could just be random rolls happening in the background. Or it could be that the same chunk of health bar looks different, depending on where it is and what text it is covering / uncovering as it depletes. Spectre is way faster than me. I do not have much hope of catching up to him. I caught up to him, and he died instantly. So that priority's been taken care of. Bah. So I'm having a hard time getting to the weapons I want. I'm having a bit of a Twisted Metal 4 syndrome, where my inventory is full of garbage. Freeze shots, get the hell out of here. Freeze shots aren't even that bad, but I prefer not to use them. Bounce pads are a joke. Mines have outlived their usefulness. And there's no way to look at our entire inventory at once, which is incredibly useful when you can do that in Twisted Metal 2. Maybe there is. Let me see. Nope, that's not it. There's the rear view mirror. Camera controls. Do not go into first person, dear God. I'm going into first person. Well, that's what first person looks like for Captain Spears. Damn it, sorry. It keeps putting me in first person. Can't stop it anymore. And start plus left doesn't do anything as far as I can tell. I think there's an option to toggle the list of enemies. Like specifically list every vehicle that's still alive. But if there is, I don't know how. I've seen it in other videos of this game, but I've never figured out the button combo. And I don't consider that to be a useful feature anyway, so I don't really want to do that, but I'd like to know if it at least exists as a thing one can do, or if I simply hallucinated it. Picking up garbage again. Just to use our specials. It looks like we can only hold 2 of them to balance how good they are, I guess. And then if we've got 2, and we fire one of them, usually a third one will appear instantly, because they regenerate rather quickly. So we sort of had to have a hidden third one on deck most of the time. We can see it's consistently been the same high armor vehicles showing up. Adding further validity to the idea that it is just pulling the ones from near our location on the character select. This Hammerhead is right next to us. Sweet Tooth is right on the other side of us. 1 spot ahead of us. Next level is not going to provide very much information because it's going to deal basically every single opponent all at once, since it is Suburbia. So even though it seems like we're blazing through most of the game in half an hour, Suburbia is still coming up. Good run of that'll take like 10 minutes. If we're lucky. Very lucky, frankly. That's something I noticed about this character. Even though he's dominant, like hard to kill, quite powerful at all times, and I generally find Roadkill to be easy to play as, I also find him to be pretty slow. Because he's not that good at anything. I'm gonna see if I can heal. Give that a shot. Oh, there's the full heal that I still haven't used. Which, knowing about all the full heals makes this game way easier. Possibly too easy. Like, it's right on the verge. The difficulty balance in this game is very good, and I think they intentionally curved it toward the low side, because this is the first ever car combat game and they didn't know how much humans would be capable of doing. And then when Twisted Metal 2 came out, they really cranked it up. Away with you. Pretty easy victory. Hello, Connor Rose. Thank you for stopping by. I feel like Steel Daggers is a reasonable name for the special, given that it is a big spike of metal. Looks a bit like a dagger. And it is vaguely military themed. So I guess it's sort of like an army knife. Okay, that's a stretch on my part. I may or may not be going anywhere with that one, but I will gladly accept our special being called the Steel Daggers. Don't want to get sandwiched between enemies. That's one of the few things that can kill us ridiculously fast. As we saw from my one and only death so far, I basically died instantaneously because I was airborne as Hammerhead passed by. Surgically land myself on top of this platform. Get hit with a Spectre special the instant I am vulnerable again. Classic. That's a consistent thing throughout the entire series. Spectre is always waiting for the exact moment that you become vulnerable. Now, to try and find where the secret is in the LA River. I'm looking for the oil slick. Relatively sure the oil slick indicates which of these grates can be blown open for fabulous prizes. Apparently not. Let's try this one. I also think like 2 of the grates have oil slicks in front of them. Yeah, there was nothing indicating that. It's possibly random. This is the secret that I've discovered the most recently, and I know the least about it. And every time I look for it, I cannot find it, so I'm probably doing something wrong. But in the practice leading up to this, I did remember that going from the church to the LA River is the fastest way to get to the secret breakable crate, where there is a power missile and a homing missile. And that much is consistent. Because, yeah, just now, I went from the church into the LA River, and it plopped me right next to the broken grate, where I just got those things. Well, I should switch to the power missiles. Enemies are gonna pile up in this narrow cross path. Oh, did he just die? I didn't realize his HP was that low. I'll take that. Uh-oh. Sweet Tooth ridiculously deadly. Frankly, a bit overpowered in this game. Just a bit, though. And not the only vehicle that's overpowered, so it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. Pretty sure at this point that Twisted Metal 2 is the more imbalanced game. The vehicles that are good in Twisted Metal 2 are, like, insurmountable. And the ones that are bad are almost unplayable. Whereas in this game, I played through almost all dozen vehicles. None of them have ruined my life. Twisted Metal 2's remaining vehicles are almost guaranteed to ruin my life. As we'll see pretty soon. It was a pretty clean hit on Spectre, and virtually nothing happened, and then the second one outright killed him. Pretty sure we're getting variable damage output. And brutal combo out of Hammerhead. Fused together. I almost died. Now, that was a cool part of the song that I never hear. Like chugging gallops on the distorted guitar. I should really just listen to this song isolated sometime. Because it's constantly switching away from the cool music into ambient stuff. It was so ambitious to have music that switched based on context. And the PS1 just legitimately cannot handle it. It kind of ruins this fantastic soundtrack. Fantastic composition, bad presentation. So I'm in kind of a bad situation, clearly. There was a recharge available just up ahead. Getting so many enemies deep into the red like that is worth the death, but it does put me in significant danger of a game over. All the recharge stations are back online, seemingly. Warthog's very dangerous, but Captain Spears is a fellow military vet. Is one of the few people well suited to his demise and inducing such condition upon Warthog. Just want to stay close to full, if at all possible. Special would probably knock him down to 1 HP, given... Yep, I knew that was going to happen. Our damage output is so weird with his special that even though he had almost no HP left, a clean hit still knocked him down to just the tiniest sliver of HP left. Hell if I know why. But whatever, he's dead. All that matters in the end. Gonna need a lot of weapons, and I have harvested this main area. I could head out onto the highway, and get your motor running and all that. And it wouldn't help me that much, because the highway just has like oil slicks and road spikes and stuff. Useless. That's why I never touch the highway. Darkside could instant kill me simply by fusing hitboxes with me and then dealing infinite damage at the same time, because that's how collisions work in this game. I'm very lucky that did not happen. And in order to prevent it from happening, you need to take a T-slide to the face. That step was not actually necessary, but it was conducive to the ultimate goal. Homing shots. Get the job done. Very trustworthy. If I have homing shots, I'm feeling pretty safe. Sometimes too safe. I make terrible mistakes. Yep. Missed my turn. Heading for this thing. Free shots that I hate. Should probably kill Thumper, even though he is legitimately one of the least threatening enemies, simply because he has to get really close to hit you with his special, and he doesn't attempt to do anything else besides fire missiles.
Nice, Cash. Nice.
Hell yes. That is, very generous of you, Kata. Much obliged. So I might as well start getting into what's going to happen after this run, since it looks like this playthrough is going well enough that it might be over relatively soon. Oh, there's Mr. Grimm. Hasn't even attempted to fight me yet. A very, very generous contribution by longtime supporter Pizzerato is going to provide us with an additional playthrough of a game called Grudge Warriors once we've completed Twisted Metal here. In 20-ish minutes. Typical Twisted Metal 1 playthrough duration. That is, good stuff in my book. My GoFundMe is ongoing, and if anyone were to contribute about, let's say, 20 bucks, something in that ballpark, and then name a level and character combination, I would play through that level with that character on stream so as to extend Twisted Monday, but not today. I'll still accept that contribution and deliver on the level of your choosing at the soonest possible stream, but today we got Grudge Warriors. And I need to get to Grudge Warriors as soon as possible. We'll see why. Right now, I'm sure Pizzerato is the only person who knows why. But soon enough, Grudge Warriors will be a household name. It's a thing of beauty. Hopefully this level doesn't take too long. I should probably bail out and recharge all my lives for safety so I don't waste time. Minimize the amount of time wasted, potentially, by resetting my life count. About time I accepted being a loser. Yeah, Roadkill basically has nothing to fear in all of Cyberbia. It's ridiculous. He's disturbingly well suited to that particular level and basically the entire game. Just the combination of stats that he has. Deadly. At basically any skill level. Let's see. We're going for... Beautiful. Now, onto the actual final level. With enough resources. I have no concern that we might game over here. Considering how easily we just handled 8 enemies in a row. Breaking this is still difficult. Look at that. Basically all my ammo, but it's worth it. In fact, it's pretty much necessary. And now we can afford to die. We can afford to die twice and probably still be just fine. Which is a good position to be in. I fear very little. Roadkill is made out of garbage. And absolutely destroys sports cars, monster trucks, everything in his way. Dune buggies. Very threatening dune buggies. However, I'm getting bullied everywhere I turn. Yeah. Pit Viper guarding the health refill. I didn't lose much ammo, though. And I didn't waste the recharge station, so not too much loss there. As deaths go, that is not very costly. Here's the reason I actually opened the pyramid. The recharge is nice, but it's really all about these 3 missile pickups. So yeah, this is standard combat stuff, and not even very interesting combat because it's only 3-on-1. At this point, 3-on-1 is close to trivial. So, I got that ongoing GoFundMe, but it is very near its goal, miraculously and amazingly. It is truly wonderful, but I am still pushing it pretty hard. Even if it hits the goal, I'm still going to push it. And I don't have to push it as brutally. Did Hammerhead just hurl himself off the building? Yes, he did. And it seems like Spectre did exactly the same, which is weird. I've never seen that happen before. They're depriving me of corpses to use against Minion, which is a strategy that I often like to employ. Oh well. So now I'm just waiting. This Pit Viper is doing all sorts of weird crap. So yeah. Contribute to my GoFundMe if at all possible. It is very important and it needs absolutely all the help it can get, but it's looking very good. And I will play through additional levels on stream. As supporters request. Quite happily, I will add. There are ways to manipulate that by choosing character and level combinations that are absolutely brutal. There's one that comes to mind that I've already spent hours on stream working my way through. And I did eventually crack it, and I will be able to crack it again if anyone wants it. But I'm not going to say it out loud in case I summon a malicious soul. You could also get me to play, like, the 2012 game. You could get pretty creative and force me to do quite a bit of bonus content. For relatively cheap. I mean, compare it to games done quick. For 5 to 10 minutes of gameplay, they'll charge 30,000, 100,000. I'm not asking that much. But for 100,000, I will play 5 additional minutes of gameplay. I promise you that much. Also for 20. Your choice. If I were you, I would choose the 20 bucks. I should really be playing the numbers game, but it could also be like Pizzerado and give me a life-changing amount of money all at once. So as to change my life for the better. Really looking forward to it. I have a very busy, very difficult, but very exciting couple of months ahead of me. It's funny that people are talking about, like, trying to force me into playing specific games, seemingly unaware that I am eager to play as many different hard combat games as possible. Contributions are a nice bonus, quite frankly. I will gladly play terrible card combat games. And thanks for stopping by, Blast Tyrant, for the conclusion of this playthrough. Most likely. Minion could always instant kill me. Giant vehicle that it is, it could just run me the hell over, and I'd be dead outright. But with the power of my specials, not too worried about it. Also, I could just hurl myself over the edge accidentally. I'm not above that. We'll go right about here. Non-lethal, as our damage output makes no sense. Oh, I got instant killed. Beautiful. Well, there's extra gameplay for you. I guess I should have seen that coming, but tragically, I did not. That is not the correct first input. Off to a great start on what I guarantee will be the successful run of the rooftop level. So close to. Big guy had 1 HP. If my special dealt consistent high damage, we'd be done here. But, you know. Probably should have played more carefully. Wow. Game almost hurled me into the abyss, even though my speed is well high enough that I don't need to boost to get between buildings. It almost made me boost or die. I don't know what the homing missile went for there. Sort of flung itself upwards at no one in particular. This is a bad place to fight anybody, but if I kill anyone, the rewards will be pretty impressive. That's a great place to leave corpses. Now we'll get a chance to use the health refill, which I never got to do the first time. This pit viper was weirdly camping this whole area. A strategy I never normally see the AI attempt. Clearly it works. I like the AI quirks in this game. They're necessary because the default AI is pretty bad. Does a lot of stuff that just doesn't make sense. So, instead of trying to make sense, it does gimmicky stuff. Hammerhead killed himself again. Hammerhead clearly should not be on this level. So, we are almost done already. Except for the variable special damage. There we go. The health refill is back online. Just all the random numbers are coming up in my favor. This time they want me to win. They want me to do it without any deaths. Will I oblige? Let's find out. Let's put oil slicks here for no good reason. They probably won't cause Minion to hurtle over the edge, but maybe. There's an infinitesimal chance that is exactly what will happen. I put them in exactly the wrong spot for it to happen. So I got comboed a bit and hurled myself over the edge. I overturned. And there I go. This is fine in and of itself. Definitely not making myself that Casey Green comic in the slightest. This is in no way a portent of doom. Such a thing simply is not possible. I like how tight of an arc Minion takes when attempting to get to you. because it makes it way easier to hit him. Other enemies would like swerve and take a wide angle in their approach. And while they are swerving, it'd be really hard to line up a perfect shot. The minion basically spins in place, because he's got tank controls, as controlled by the X-32 whatever technobabble mind tank technology, which is no longer canon. I'll take a homing missile. Those are quite useful. See, what I'm trying to do is speed this up by brute forcing with my most powerful available weapons. And the opposite seems to be happening. Got smacked off of the platform. I'm gonna play it a little safe. Perch myself in the safe spot. Snipe minion as he approaches. Still, not do very much damage. I legitimately don't know how it's coded to assign damage when hitting with your weapons. It seems randomized. And like this time, getting bad numbers. After they went so well. So these two specials that I have, probably three by the time I actually start firing them, should easily be lethal. Lethal with a mile to spare. Let's see. There we go. I mean, it did take a third. Previously not shown in my inventory special to wipe him out. But yeah, that was an easy run. Started to get unlucky and sloppy towards the end. A lot of that was my fault. But it also could have gotten a lot smoother. Could have gotten just the tiniest bit more damage the first time. Wouldn't have had to do the second one. Alright. Here's Calypso. As you know, I shall now grant any prize you request. I was a captain in the jungle wars of South America, you tell him. I lost my entire platoon. I sent them straight into an enemy trap. And now, as your prize, you want a second chance. You want me to send you back in time so you can save them. I don't recommend it, Captain. Calypso tries to warn you about the dangers of such a request, but you refuse to heed his advice. You have to save your platoon in the jungle wars. Realizing your mind is made up, Calypso simply shrugs and agrees to grant your wish. You should have listened to the guy. You are sent back in time, dropped into the middle of a raging South American war. Before you have time to save your platoon, you are shot at point-blank range by an enemy soldier. You die instantly. The next day, back in 2005, two high school kids find your car sitting in the middle of a dirt field. A dirt field where they farm dirt. They steal it, speed off, and vow to enter next year's contest using your vehicle. I predict they will do very well. These unnamed characters who do not exist and never will. So Captain Spears goes back, gets his wish, dies instantly for no discernible reason, because in theory, nothing should have changed. Like, the choices should have been exactly the same thing plays out, or he saves his platoon. But for some reason, he goes back, dies instantly. And nothing of value is gained. Oh well. Also, even as sloppily as that run went, It did come in slightly faster than my usual hour-long playtime. After credits, it might be a little over an hour, but nonetheless, good, clean, enjoyable fun. Love this game. As much as I shouldn't, as much as it hates me, it's good stuff. Now for the good part of the good stuff, where I mute the game and we check out the original VHS transferred ending as directed by David Jaffe. David Jaffe hype. Check it out, folks.
As winner of my competition, I shall grant to you anything you request. Let's see what you've come asking for.
I already turned in my contract, Calypso. You should know what I want.
The jungle wars of South America. You were a commander for the Allied troops. What was that, 5 years ago?
4.5.
Now you want to go back in time. Set things straight. An interesting request.
I lost them all. 25 good men, and I sent them straight into an enemy trap. I want a second chance, Calypso. Word is, you can give me that.
I wonder if you really know what it means to go back in time. Really to go back.
Damn it, I don't need a lecture. I need to save my men. I need more time.
I can give you time, but to go back and to
Give me what I want. Give me what I earned. I won. My God, he did it.
Commander, if you can hear me, we're heading into the forge. We'll keep you posted on what we find.
No! Stand out of there. Stay out of the forge.
Yes, sir. Pulling back, sir.
Wait for me. You guys stay put. No.
No matter the timeline, Captain Spears sucks at captaining. But he tries. Boy, does he ever try. I love how, like, they tried to avoid placing it in a real-world war. It's weirdly separated from actual history, in a way that very few Twisted Metal stories end up being. So it's almost a shame that it was written out of canon. I kind of wish the Jungle Wars were canon to future Twisted Metal games, and they could explore that history more frequently and in greater depth. We could set an entire game in the Jungle Wars if we wanted. We could play as the Captain Spears platoon. Come on, Twisted Metal 5. The Jungle Wars. I'd buy it. But I don't think I'll get that opportunity. So that was Roadkill. Fantastic vehicle. I had a fun time with it. As we know, I'm planning to play through Grudge Warriors in just a moment. I don't think there's anything else to say about our intrepid hero who has lost himself in time forever. Yep, that's probably all there is to do with Roadkill. You can't ask for any more, nor can you say much else about this car. It's too good, it speaks for itself. So, coming up, the terribly named Grudge Warriors. So, more car combat. Stick around for that. But this concludes our playthrough. I am Fiendly, and I thank you for watching Twisted Monday.